Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, first reaction, nasty punch in the gut that some fans will love. That is the headline on this week's MBE Heroes. And John, this comes in, I think it's actually on various platforms this week. This one's certainly from the express.co.uk.
Yes.
In regards to the upcoming Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Yes, it's very exciting, Stephen. Also, this chap on Twitter has managed to get in and see an early screening of the movie.
Yeah.
Viewer Annan.
Lucky bugger.
His name is, yeah, Lucky Bugger. Indeed, I wish I was him.
Yeah.
He says that basically that he wanted to chew on it for a couple of hours before saying anything. Joker screened tonight. It's a movie that's casual in its nastiness, a series of continual punches to the gut. And if you're into that sort of thing, you'll love it. If not, ... the implication being you won't love it.
Yeah.
But he did love it. Stephen, I love that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I love beating somebody down again and again and seeing how it obviously forms them into a person. Not literally in a movie.
I was going to say that, John. That's a bit cruel.
Yeah, it's a bit cruel, yeah. But just seeing how it will form and shape people. I mean, it will break some people, it will make some people. In this case, you can tell even by the trailer, Stephen, that it's not going to be the making of this chap. I think it's Arthur Fleck, a failed comedian.
Yeah.
Certainly not going to be the making of him. It's going to break him, and then it's going to be just what happens after that, the implications for different figures around about Gotham. It's very intriguing. I like the fact that it's starting off positively. This chap's got to see it, and he's really enjoyed it. He seems to be of a similar viewpoint to me, and it's just whetted my anticipation for this movie. Furthermore, Stephen, there's a couple of other things we'll get into, but I'll let you in.
Arthur Fleck, John, is obviously being portrayed as a tragic figure.
Yeah.
So that angle they're going for intrigues me as well. When you think back to obviously on the big screen, the likes of Jack Nicholson's Joker and not so much Heath Ledger's, you didn't really get a backstory of his. His was through his own sort of versions of events, if you like. Whether they are true or not, we will never know. Jack Nicholson's was a kind of origins, but it wasn't true to the comic books. I think anyway. Certainly Tim Burton put another spin on that. But it didn't really delve back that far into where he came from. It really was basically the day before he became the Joker. This is
flung in a vat.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and this really intrigues me because we're not getting that sort of madcap version of the character. This is going to be more gritty. It says in the article as well that it's going to be more like Christopher Nolan's sort of gritty real life comic book tale.
Is what you want?
Yeah, and certainly for this character, he's probably DC's biggest villain. In fact, he is. I would say, I'm not probably about it, he is the biggest villain in DC's catalogue. And Joaquin Phoenix, can't think of a better person to portray this role.
No, Stephen, obviously Robert De Niro was in this movie. He's playing a sort of a DJ host, radio DJ, I would imagine. And I think that's mimicking, I think we spoke about this before, I actually forget the name of the movie that Robert De Niro was in, but he played an outsider who became obsessed with this figure in showbiz. Wanted to be him, but the fact he couldn't be him, it drove him to madness. And he started stalking him and just creating havoc. They says that this movie was heavily inspired by that, and that they were flipping the role. They brought Robert De Niro in to play the host, and now with this Arthur Fleck, wannabe showbiz performer, comedian, aspiring to be this guy, but he can't be him. He's just getting shot on from a great height by numerous people in society. Then it breaks him, and he then goes mental and starts trying to find ways to cause anarchy and whatnot. And furthermore, Stephen, actually getting into that theme, we've got another article here discussing what goes in, what's been put in to make this character what he is in this movie, and it's very interesting. Further lens into what you said, Stephen, and what I obviously said at the start, that this film really goes into just the origin story. Villains are never born that way, they're made. So as you did say, it's a villainous origin. It's going to give it time to breathe. Instead of just 5-10 minutes of a scene in a movie, then it's just forgotten about and we get into the hero's antics. It's giving you a chance to really marinate in this villainous story, how he became, what made him this figure. That's
how you do it, John. If you want to really root for a villain, you really have to know his reasons for being the person he is. And you know, if he's going to be battered and beaten down time and time again, and whatever it is that finally breaks him, you're going to be rooting for him. So I think it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and Stephen, they say that furthermore in the short little quote. There's two quotes, I don't know if it's the director, but they do say that obviously he starts off a happy chap. Basically, I'm going to try and paraphrase it because I'm not going through the whole quote.
No.
But he's beaten down time and again. He loses his faith in humanity. He sees the flaws in humanity starting to form around about him. each time he's obviously trampled on. We see that in the trailer, he's been hit with signs and punched and just treated like a figure of fun. And this shapes him, he becomes less of a happy figure. He starts really trying to reshape it into his vision of what he thinks humanity should be like. And then they then go on to say that it will be a connection between a boy and his mother. That this is another thing you're going to see, that he'll be capable of love at some point. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about how he was made that way and he didn't start being that kind of person. Clearly, what I got from the trailer, he's caring for his elderly mother. Something is going to happen to the mother. He's going to be getting treated like crap. I think someone will perhaps come in and cause her to die, and this will send him crazy.
Yeah.
And that'll with him, he'll lose his tie with obviously humanity, and just that caring side will die.
Yeah.
And he'll go full clown. And then you see those epic moments when he's walking down the corridor, full costume, walking down the stairs, skipping.
Yeah, I love that
He's
scene,
a happier guy now. He's lost all of this stuff that's been bogging him down. He's just went full crazy, and I just cannot wait to see it. Martin Scorsese involved in producing. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
It's dark, it's gritty, set in the 80s, and as you did say, Joaquin Phoenix, what an actor. The guy is just incredible. I don't think I've seen him in a bad movie, Stephen. He just knows how to hit all the right notes to make things shine. He makes movies better with his mere presence, and this is what we're going to get here. He's a star, man.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, the guy that watched it says he is absolutely incredible. So
I
think he could be up for an Oscar.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, obviously, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But
If he's good enough.
by all accounts, it sounds a really good movie.
And that photo as well.
Yeah, we'll just move into that just before we move on, John. This comes in from MovieWeb, and it is, I think it's the director sharing this unnervy Joaquin Phoenix photo, and I don't know if you want to maybe bring that up.
Yeah, I'll flash it up, yeah.
But it's a fantastic photo of Joaquin Phoenix. It looks like he's certainly facing a mirror and putting the Joker makeup on, looking very serious there. Look at that head of hair as well.
Absolutely astonishing head of hair.
But listen, it's just got all the right ingredients for a very good film. It doesn't. I know it mentions Jared Leto's incarnation from 2016's Suicide Squad here. It does make me wonder what he thinks about this whole thing, you know. And
he was supposed to be getting his own movie,
yeah,
wasn't he?
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen.
And Leto is a fantastic actor as well, John.
Yes.
I find the whole thing very unfortunate for him, the way that his portrayal was gone. But that's not his fault. It was to blend in with the tone of the Suicide Squad film, and obviously what DC were doing at that point. But certainly they definitely moved away from that.
Yeah.
DC really have upped the ante with this movie now. I think it's what they should have done from the beginning. But
I think they're up in the ante period, Stephen.
Yeah.
Just with everything they're touching now. Shazam was really great.
Yeah.
You've got Aquaman was a massive success. Wonder Woman 1984, is it coming out?
It's coming out. Yeah.
That looks as though it's going to be incredible. That poster was amazing.
Yeah.
Joker, and then we've got the Batman starting to put the wheels in motion with obviously Robert Pattinson. All things look up for DC. Finally.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah, but we'll move on, John. This is an article that came in from Screen Rant. It's X-Men editor developed a solo Beast movie, and you can read the script. You can read that. I'm sure there's a link in there in that article on screenrant.com. But this is to do with Nicholas Holt's Beast. He almost got his own X-Men spin-off movie. Now, we know that spin-off movies have been a bit of a, I was going to say hit and miss, more of a miss and miss if you don't count Logan. This would have probably been round about the time of Days of Future Past, when probably, everyone was X-Men, everyone was positive about the franchise once again after that movie. There was talk about a Mystique spin-off, which I don't think there was any need for. I think we covered her sort of origins in First Class, as we were talking about, John. Yeah. And same with Charles Xavier. I don't think it would have been that interesting. Beast, on the other hand, was always a background figure, certainly in this new batch of cast members. Nicholas Holt's portrayal of the character.
It's been very good.
Yeah, and before that we only really got him cinematically, that is, through Kelsey Grammer's Last Stand, his portrayal of that. And I think he made a cameo in Days of Future Past at the very end as well, in the school. But Nicholas Hoult, fine actor, just saw him in Tolkien, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'd love to have seen this, John. I've not read the script yet. I will be reading it. But this article is very intriguing. I didn't know they were actually considering this at one point.
I didn't either, Stephen. It's obviously one of the most prominent guys involved in the editing of the franchise. It's John Oatman. He revealed to THR that they had developed, as you did say, a Beast movie around the time of Days of Future Past. They were floating this idea around. I don't think Simon Kinberg was interested. It may have been, I think it was Kinberg. He kind of put the kibosh on it. or the kibosh on it. And that was that. But it's very intriguing, Stephen, and just what I took from the article, more so than the actual giving this great character a sort of a movie on his own to do his own thing with, which would have been cool, because he's a very intriguing character.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got Nicholas Hoult, which you did say, a fantastic actor. He would have done that justice.
Yeah.
But what I took from it more than anything was just the possibilities it would have opened up for the X-Men extended universe. We could have seen more movies if this had been allowed to happen. It was going to involve Wolverine in some way, and they seem to be implying in this article that Wolverine would have perhaps had to have been recast, a younger actor, and just the implications it could have opened up Mr. Sinister, who's a super villain, coming in. It could have included the likes of Gambit and whatnot. We might have got to have seen Channing Tatum's Gambit finally appearing.
Yeah.
We could have had a sort of Infinity Saga type thing surrounding this. This could have opened up a whole X-Men side story, obviously running perpendicular, if I don't know if that's the correct word, to what we eventually seen. It was all a little bit discombobulated, Stephen, the X-Men thing at the end. You just had these ensemble movies with not much development happening, and it just felt like it was one story. It was semi-connected, but they were doing things with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dark Phoenix.
I don't think the time jump either in the films, John. You're jumping decades every time, you know.
That didn't help, and this would have perhaps been a way to expand out. If I had a side story, then it could go off and rejuvenate the franchise, and would have had different turns of characters. It could have opened up perhaps multiple versions of Wolverine, Hugh Jackman doing his thing with Logan, and then getting a younger character continuing on. I don't know, would it have worked? Who knows? I'd have been intrigued to have seen it. I like the Beast character. He was actually one of the slightly better things in Dark Phoenix for me. Just his sort of a connection with also Mystique and Charles Xavier, that growing what would you say, resentment would be the word. And just he kind of connected Magneto together with Xavier, and just they brought the good guys together at the end, and it was all threaded through him. So he was one of the better things for me. Yeah. And I've always liked Nicholas Hoult since About the Boy, so that would have to have seen it happening, Stephen. But sadly, it wasn't to be, thanks to Simon Kinberg. And he put the kibosh on it, and I think karma's come back to bite him. He's probably a good guy, but Dark Phoenix.
Certainly in this next article, John, we're going to move on to really has come back to bite him.
Kibosh on me.
This is coming in from Cinema Blend, and it said Dark Phoenix had the biggest second week drop of any superhero movie. Facts. Some of these facts and figures I'll let you read out, John. But this drop is, of course, relieving DC's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, with its 81% drop for the title, because this movie had a drop of 83.2%, which is absolutely...
It's ridiculous, Stephen.
Terrible.
I always thought that Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was unjustified, Stephen, that drop. I didn't think it was that bad a movie.
I think sometimes, John,
I
think it says in the article as well, about the Harry Potter movie. I think there might have been a bit of a mad rush for the Superman v Batman film, although it wasn't a great film. I'm not comparing it to the Harry Potter film, which was a very good film, but there was that mad rush for that first week, and then obviously the big drop the second week when word got out, because let's not beat around the bush here, when word got out about Batman v Superman,
it destroyed it.
It absolutely did. No.
Stephen, it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but it wasn't terrible by any means. Certainly didn't justify that level of drop, but as you did say, a lot of people rushed out to see that movie. It got, I think, a pretty decent opening weekend, although not amazing by any means, because it subsequently failed quite a bit. I'm not thinking about Justice League, I don't know. They were both
I think it was a Justice League, John.
Justice League was a complete and utter flop and disaster, but it obviously had a big drop in the second weekend, and this is now relieved at Dark Phoenix. Do I think it's justified, Stephen? Probably is, because it's not a great movie. It's not terrible either. It's not absolutely horrendous, the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, but it's not a good movie, and it's a terrible way for the franchise to go out with Fox.
It's a sad state of affairs, John.
And that's obviously reflected in the box office numbers. It opened with $33 million last weekend in the States, and now it's had its biggest drop, the biggest superhero movie drop of all time, 83.2%. As you did say, still not the biggest. I think Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is still the biggest with 84. Difference being it grossed like $169 million in its first weekend, and then it didn't have to worry. This is only opened with 33 million, as I did say, Stephen, and this is an absolute disaster. I think they're looking to lose $100 million, perhaps more, maybe even more. So it's not good for Kinberg, it's not good well, Fox don't care. They've passed the baton over to.
Yeah, I think
buck
that's the
over to
problem
Disney.
lies, John. They just haven't cared enough.
No, they haven't.
It's really just been, let's get this out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, before the handover or during the handover, or whenever it may be.
Changing
I
the
think
ending
I was going to
so
say
it
that,
doesn't-
John.
yeah.
The reshoots as well. I
Doesn't
think
look the same
obviously
as another movie.
well, I think it was Thor Ragnarok. We
Mhm.
thought it may have had an effect on
Yeah.
that ending, but as we record this, I've still not seen the film.
No.
I did mention this on box office, but yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to go and see it this week anyway, and I'll reserve judgment on it at the moment, but it's not looking good. I'm very sad to see this because
Yes.
it was a franchise that, especially the first two movies, were fantastic. This was a time when we didn't really have many comic book films out there at the time. This was before the MCU. I think maybe timing had a lot to do with it as well, that went in its favour. I'm not saying it fluked. Certainly the first two X-Men films were fantastic, still some of the best comic book films out there.
Yeah.
And then Last Stand, well, it is what it is. The Wolverine
Absolutely.
Origins was terrible. That chimney scene,
Schreiber.
yeah, and Ryan Reynolds, terrible. And then we get that Wolverine film, the one that was set in Japan. It was okay. And then we got Days of Future Past, which I thought was passable. It was a good film.
Yeah.
And then we got Apocalypse, which I
Still
thought
not
was
seen it.
okay. It was okay. It wasn't anything great.
People are saying that this is actually better than Apocalypse, so that's one of the things
Ooh,
that people are saying.
Okay.
It's not as bad as Apocalypse. Some of the defenders of the movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Apocalypse, Stephen. I actually have to get back. I'm
Yeah.
way out of sync. And although, as you did say, it jumps decades,
Yeah.
so it probably won't make much of a difference.
It does make when we
In
went
fact,
back, we came back a couple of years, John, when we were doing a podcast.
Mhm.
We were talking about Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants. These were two of the films that we were most
Yeah.
anticipating. If you told me maybe 2 years down the line, one was going to be, you know, the second, or the biggest second week drop of any superhero movie,
Mhm.
and the other one's still not out, I wouldn't have believed you, to be honest with you.
No, neither would I, Stephen. Look, as I did say, there is some redeeming things in this movie. Some of the action sequences, that train sequence is incredible. I like the end. There is some moments in there. There's a scene with Magneto and obviously Jean Grey,
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, with helicopters and his sort of a retreat for obviously the mutants, which is very cool. There is some cool action sequences, but the story is let down by just, it's a mess. It's going all over the place. The villain, Jessica Chastain, I believe it was,
Yeah.
just crap.
Yeah.
Crap. She's just strolling around trying to get information like something out of Terminator 3, I think it was, or 2. The one with the female, I can't
Yeah,
recall.
3, yeah, Rise
Three.
of the Machines, yeah.
Yeah, and then she's turning into this super powered character. Then she's get that sort of a Mike Myers effect, where she's miles away, but then she just so happens to appear walking.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, yeah, Michael Myers.
Yeah,
Not
not Mike
Mike
Myers.
Myers. No. 5 minutes later, she's walking in to greet also with other characters, the
Yeah.
likes of Professor X, Mystique and whatnot. Mystique as well. She dies. Just that. I mean, you know she dies.
Yeah, I
We've
knew
already
that. That's not a
established it.
spoiler, no.
She dies a chump's death. But after that god awful line prior to it about I mean the women are always, I don't know if you've noticed, I think she says the women are always saving the men. Maybe we should call it the ex-women.
Wow, okay.
Wow, she was cringing in the death. I didn't care.
This is someone that got taken in by Charles Xavier
Yeah.
as a child.
Yeah, I just didn't care when she died, Stephen. They tried to go
Ungrateful.
for the Logan
Yeah.
effect.
Very
And it
ungrateful.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Overall, the story didn't work, and that is, I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but there was some appealing things in there.
I can't wait to talk about the in the blog rundown. We're a few weeks away from talking about this
Yeah,
movie, but
we'll get into
we
it.
certainly will at that point. And by that point, I would have seen the movie.
It's not the worst movie I've ever
No.
seen. Origins is still worse. For that chimney sequence alone, it's still worse.
Met
And I've not seen Apocalypse.
without a mouth. Yeah,
Yeah, met without a mouth.
yeah.
Yes.
Terrible idea. But listen, we'll
Yes.
move on to our final article, John, this week. It comes in from Screen Rant again, and it's Brendan Fraser describes his 2002 Superman movie audition. Now, I didn't even know he had an audition for Superman,
No.
playing Clark Kent. Though the furthest I can go back is obviously the famous Nick Cage one from, I think, about 1995 or something
Yeah, it was,
like that,
yeah.
96. That terrible chest hair.
Was that
Yeah.
Tim Burton?
Yeah, that suit.
Superman
and,
Lives or
the terrible hairpiece he had on.
What
Um,
herpes? I thought that was
Would
his real hair.
Brendan Fraser have fitted the role? That's the question I'm asking myself. Brendan Fraser back in 2002 was probably, I wouldn't say probably, he wasn't an A-lister at the time. It just came off the back of The Mummy and the sequel, The Mummy Returns. So
Yes.
it was a big. You're looking at photos of him now. And
No,
you're
I searched
kinda
up the wrong
laughing at it.
person.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Brenda Fricker.
No.
But listen, well, this article, it's very interesting, John. Brendan Fraser kind of takes some pride in the fact that he was penciled in to be the Man of Steel. Tried on the suit by all accounts. Don't think we've seen any photos of that.
No.
Don't know if he'd fit the suit nowadays, but
I don't
I've
think
not seen
so.
Brendan Fraser in years. The last film I saw him in,
He's in a DC series just now, apparently. That's him there, Stephen. He looks
he's
okay.
looking okay. Yeah,
Yeah, he looks fine.
He's looking fine. I liked him. I remember the first thing I saw him in was I don't know if it was Airheads or California Man, Encino Man, as it was called in the States. But
Airheads
he's
was
always been a
94.
likeable guy. His comic timing as well has always been very good. I think it worked for the Mummy franchise as well, John. Just thought he was very much like an Indiana Jones type figure in the face of certain doom. He'd always crack a joke, and it always always was just well timed.
Yeah.
But to play the Man of Steel and play Clark Kent, I don't know if I can picture him in that role, to be honest with you.
No, Stephen, this was around about the time when The Mummy was at the height of its success. Also, The Mummy came out in '99, I believe. Then
Crash,
The Mummy Returns.
that was the film, the last
Crash.
film I saw. Man, that was a great film.
Yeah, that was a great film, yeah. The Mummy Returns was 2001, so that was just after The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
So it would have been at the height of his stardom.
Yeah.
They were obviously toying with the idea of bringing them in. But I don't think it would have worked, Stephen, not because of Brendan Fraser being a terrible actor or whatnot, just purely because he's too well known a face. I always associate Superman with a sort of a Star Wars vibe, where you bring in an unknown chap and give him the chance to make a career for himself off of the back of playing Clark Kent.
I think that's what they did with Henry Cavill.
That's what they did with Henry Cavill. I'd never heard of Christopher Reeves, obviously I wasn't alive.
No.
And I don't know anything else he did other than that role where he broke his
He
back.
was a bodybuilder before
It's
it.
a bodybuilder, so you utilise unknown characters and bring them in.
Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh,
Yeah,
he was the
well.
other chap,
Yeah.
So again, I'd never heard of him, I don't think, prior to that.
Or
So
after it.
Or after yes, or after it. So, I mean, I don't know what to make of it, Stephen. It's all very Nick Cage. Superman Lives, I believe it was, 95.
Yeah.
Sadly, there's no photos of obviously costume design, and I'm trying it on and whatnot. Although I have flashed a graphic up, photoshopped. I didn't do it. Of his face in a Superman costume. So
Jet black hair.
jet black hair, yeah. So I don't know what to make of it, Stephen. All I can say is, look, J.J. Abrams penned the script.
Yeah.
It was Superman Flyby was the original name. It then developed into Superman Returns, obviously 2006. And obviously Brandon Routh, as you did say, suited up. And actually, interestingly, James Marsden was another guy up for the role.
Yeah.
And he, I think, appeared
He did,
in
aye.
Superman Returns, It's a different character. I thought you slipped a bit of slang in there, Steve.
Yeah,
Sorry
I was
about
going to
that.
say aye, but listen, just thinking back to James Marsden, he must have been absolutely raging when he never got the part, and then he got this rubbish part in that film. Basically, he was a sort of, what can I say, he was a sort of spare person at the wedding.
Yeah, well, that sounds like James Marsden in general. Marsden in general. Also, he played. What was his name?
Cyclops.
Cyclops. I was about to say Cyborg. That's not correct.
No.
I've just watched Dark Phoenix. I should know this, Stephen. But I digress. If you want to see Brendan Fraser, and if you've been wondering where he is, incidentally, on a side note, you can watch him as I think Robot Man in DC's universe is Doom Patrol. It's on their new streaming service. So I was wondering what happened to Brendan. Not seen him in a long time. I seem to recall he was in a movie, Stephen, where he played a caveman.
That was California Man.
Yeah, that was actually a good movie. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Came back from, obviously he was in ice and he was defrosted. Obviously they don't do science. But yeah, I digress. I've not got much more to add, Stephen. It's a shame. He may have been absolutely incredible, blew our minds, been the best Superman ever.
Yeah. Listen, this was a point when every name was getting bandied about in Hollywood for who was going to don the red cape. At this time, I think the last... Yeah, well, it was 1987 was the last Superman film, that Quest for Peace, Stop, Don't Do It, the People one.
Stop, don't do it, the people.
It took us such a long time to get him back on the big screen, so I don't know if it would have worked or not, but who knows. Listen, this brings us to the end of this week's MBE Heroes. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we will be back again tomorrow with MBE Movie News.